sure.
He's watching you.
This meeting is called to order. Please rise for flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have a moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Abrahamson? Here. Councilmember Quinn?
Here.
Councilmember Friedlander?
Here.
Councilmember Noon?
Here.
Councilmember Kelly?
Here.
Councilmember Brooks?
Here.
Councilmember Jedinak?
Here.
Vice President Jackson?
Here.
President Sackett?
Here. This meeting was advertised in the Daily Record and the Star Ledger, the official newspaper for the Township of Rockaway, on September 14, 2019. Notice was posted on the official bulletin boards of Rockaway Township. Number 6, approval of minutes. We have September 24, 2019, regular meeting, and September 24, 2019, closed session. Do we have a motion?
Just, Council President, there's one correction on the minutes for September 24th,
Which one, close or regular?
the regular. Just the correction on the title.
Page?
Page 3, appointment to fill the vacancy. You're looking first. You can't have two council presidents. You gotta change. Councilman Kelly. That's all.
There's another error
Sure,
on here.
what we got?
The roll call taken on the September 24th, Mr. Jedinak, Councilman Jedinak did not abstain. There was no abstention on the roll call from him. That's an error.
First page?
First page, Rockaway Township Council, September 24th, roll call was taken, yay, nay, abstentions.
Any other corrections? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Are you doing this separately, or are you doing
Or
this?
to do it as one?
Uh,
Yeah.
You want to do it separately?
Well, I have a different answer on the other side.
Shut your microphones off one at a time, please. We'll do the first one, regular meeting. Do we have a motion on the regular meeting?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Abrahamson?
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilmember Noon?
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Jedinak?
Abstain.
Vice President Jackson?
Yes.
President Sackett?
Yes. We have 8 yeses, 1 abstention. Motion carries. Next, we have B, closed session. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Abrahamson?
Abstain.
Councilmember Quinn?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilmember Noon?
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
Abstain.
Councilmember Brooks?
Yes.
Councilmember Jedinak?
Abstain.
Vice President Jackson?
Yes.
President Sackett?
Yes, we have 6 yeses, 3 abstentions. Motion carries. Moving on to number 7, ordinances to adopt. We have ordinance O-19-24, amending Chapter 2 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Rockaway to establish an environmental advisory committee and to amend the language of the ordinance applicable to the newly named Open Space Advisory Committee. Being this as ordinance to adopt, we will have a public hearing. Does anyone? Oh,
Second first.
we have a motion on this first? before
So
the public
moved. Second.
hearing? Please call the roll.
Not yet.
Oh, no.
Now we have public hearing.
Now we have a public hearing. Does anyone want to come up and speak on it? Come on up, state your name, address for the record.
Michael Alardi, 19 North Brookside Drive. I was going to speak it open to the public regarding this, but is this a committee that the public will be able to meet with or give ideas to? We have a big concern with the geese, and is that a committee that we could address that with? I'm going to bring it up and open to the public, to the council, but we would be able to meet with this committee, or?
Yeah, right now, we're just establishing the committee. I believe this is something that the mayor put together. Maybe the mayor can answer this one,
Correct, yeah.
on this one.
Be able to reach out to all of these people on all the committees are accessible
Okay.
to the public. Absolutely, you can always reach out to them. There'll be a list of who the people are, who the folks are that have volunteered.
Okay,
Express your
that was
concern,
all.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, any discussion?
Council President. Mr. Mayor, the last meeting that we had on the 24th of September, I'd ask a couple of questions with regard to changing commissions to committees. And one of the concerns, Mr. Alardi, I don't think he got a fair answer, was are they subjected to OPMA and OPRA? And is there a notice requirement in order to have these committees or this committee meet to where the public is going to have an idea as to when they're going to assemble and what the agenda and topic's going to be, or is it just going to be a selected people who reach out to ask of any information about this?
The public has access to the committees. They can speak to them at any time, to any of the folks that volunteer, so I don't understand your reasoning.
I asked you if it's subjected to OPMA.
And I'm answering to you that it's not subjected to OPMA, but the public can reach out to anyone on the environmental committee, absolutely.
But the public doesn't.
But the public can reach out to them, they have access to them.
Right.
Same way that they had access to a commission, the exact same amount of access.
How would the public know when these meetings are going to take place?
They can ask.
But how do they know to ask? Like, how do they know the calendar, the schedule?
They can ask. It's called taking initiative, if you're interested in a particular area, and asking.
And they can attend these meetings?
Sure,
So if we have an ordinance committee, then like a member of the public can attend an ordinance committee?
sure.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember Abrahamson?
No.
Councilmember Quinn?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedlander?
Yes.
Councilmember Noon?
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
This is just an attempt to dodge OPRA and OPMA, so I say no.
Councilmember
No.
Brooks?
I abstain.
Councilmember Jednak?
No.
Vice President Jackson?
Can't vote. Yes.
President Sackett?
Do you guys have your microphones off? Can you make sure, Mr. Kelly, can you shut your microphone off one at a time so you don't get locked out? Thank you. Yes, we have 5 yeses, 3 noes, 1 abstention. Motion carries. Moving on to number 8, open to the public. Second, I had this sheet there. I can't find the 5 minutes. In 1 second, just looking for one sheet, I apologize. There it is. Put it right there. Chapter 2 Administrative Code, Article 4, Meetings of the Council, 2-5.14, Addressing the Council. Any person desiring to address the council shall first seek recognition by the presiding officer, provided, however, that a portion of the regularly monthly public meeting and the monthly conference agenda meeting shall be open to the public comment. Upon recognition by the chair, the person shall have his name and address in an audible tone of voice for the records. Unless further time is granted by the council, they shall limit themselves to 5 minutes. Statements shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any member thereof. The councilman shall not direct any question to a speaker addressing the council except through the presiding officer. We have a Barbara Roman.
My name is Barbara Roman.
You can come over to the microphone, please.
I live at 3203 Pierce Lane in the Greenbrier Fox Ridge complex. This is the complex where we still have construction roads, temporary roads, and the builder has left us. He's now putting up another complex in Rockaway, and we don't understand why he's allowed to build again when he hasn't finished ours. I'm one of the people who fell on this road. Even in broad daylight, you can't go from A to B without acting like a drunken sailor going around, everything sticking out of this temporary road. The average age in my building is 73 years old. I'm 77. I still work a full-time job. I can see very well. I'm a pharmaceutical editor. I could see, but at night, when I fell, the shadows come and everything sticking out looks different. So I fell, it was freezing, and I was yelling, and I got my neighbor to come out, and then one of the gentlemen here also helped me get up, because when you're 77, you can't get up when you're laying down. And I'm not a small person, I'm dead weight, and they were pulling me and pushing me and got me up. And it's lucky I have, good bones, because I didn't break anything. 2 weeks ago, a woman across has a walker with wheels. She's going there to visit her friend, and she can't even get out of her car to move her walker past 3 cars to get in the doorway of that building, right across from us. And she's calling her friend on the phone, and I hear this because I was getting in my car. And she says, I can't come to see you because I can't even get in the front door. Why was this allowed to happen? Why was the builder allowed to leave? And now he's elsewhere in Rockaway Township building again, and he'll do the same thing again. He'll just leave everybody. The people downstairs from us, their kitchen sink fell in their cabinet on the ground. They heard a crash. The building is awful, the way they built these things. They're built with Scotch tape and spit, really. There's been a lot of problems with the building, but what we really need your help with is at least to make the road smooth so that people could walk on it. The seniors can't even go out at night. You can't walk out there. You can't even walk in the daytime. You have to be very careful how you walk. We need your help on this.
Mr. Puzo, could we maybe have engineering?
I'm going to let Allison speak. She's aware of the situation.
Yes, I am, unfortunately, and I, apologize, and we hear you guys, and we are in contact with the developer. The developer has not left town. It is a process, however, it's taken too long. We understand that. We have written several letters, and a date of compliance, as you are aware, is coming up. So the next action would either take action on their bond or to have them take action. There are, like you said, the roadways are in poor condition. They have been addressed. They have been assessed. They do know that they have to resurface them. However, they have to reconstruct the curb ramps, and in doing so, they may impact curbs. So you can't resurface the road before you do the curbing. However, that has no excuse on them dragging their feet. So we will continue to stay on top of them.
We've been living there 4 years, and it's still the same. There's people living there longer than us. I mean, think of your parents. They worked their whole lives, they paid off their houses, and they moved to somewhere that they thought was safe. It's not safe. It's very dangerous where we live, and we can't walk outside to our vehicles.
Council President, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Ms. Ferrante, so when did you start staying on top of them, and how long will you continue before any action is taken for these people? How long does it take?
Yeah,
how
so
long
this-
will we continue to
obviously
just
no.
be
Right.
staying on
This
them?
just, came into my lap, so I'm shepherding it to, so this month is a compliance date for them, and then action should be taken. And believe I'm working with Barbara Lennis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one quick question, Council President.
Pertaining to this or something?
Yes. Mrs. Ferrante, when's the last time that you've actually been on the site?
2 months ago, a month and a half ago.
Thank you. No more questions.
Thank you. Joe Kropanese? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Okay, thank you.
Got it right, thank you very much.
You got it.
Good evening. My name is Joe Cropanese. I live at 1211 Hill Drive, same development, Greenbrier at Fox Ridge. We're up alongside Fox Hills, but, you know, we face the road just up the street from you guys on Mount Hope Road. Barbara kind of usurped me. I'm the board president, but she got here before me and signed in ahead of me, so she did a heck of a job.
Okay, great.
And I thank you, Barbara. I'm happy that we have residents willing to come and speak to you. We have 4 board members here with me tonight. And I'd like to kind of give you a background on what has gone on. You know, our purpose is to deliver a petition to you tonight to get your help. This situation with the roads has been going on a long time. A little background to get you all on the same page. The development was started about 12 years ago by Lennar, completed in 2017. We're 55 and over community, 8 condo buildings. They're 3 stories high with a parking garage underneath, and each building has, and we have 336 owners with about 525 residents. So that gives you an idea of the complex. We're currently in transition with Lennar. Our engineering transition study identified 85 problems. It was completed in the first quarter of 2018 and delivered to Lennar. Half of the problems are construction code issues, according to the study, which is done by an engineer who should know all of that. Remediation, our estimate showed, is in the millions. We have filed a lawsuit against Lennar to protect against the state construction expiration dates. The suit's now in early stage of discovery with depositions to start next year. Our petition has been signed by most residents. We got about 23 pages of signatures. As I said earlier, we're looking to get your help to get Lennar to finish the roads in the development. Now, as you've heard, there's a typical complaint from Barbara about the roads, and this is common. They're complaining frequently to our board, and so we thought it was time for us to come here and try to get your help. The roads are in bad shape. The problems include potholes, uneven tar areas, curbing of Belgian block stones that have come loose from the underlying concrete, and water grates that have caved in near garage entrances and exits. The problems are causing safety and financial impact. We got prospective buyers that are walking away, so we're losing sales. We got residents tripping, as you've heard, and falling. We've got some car damage because the curbing is too high without the finished paving, so cars are running into the curbing. And the contractors have been expressing concern about their vehicles that could be damaged when they come on our property. Associations paid to fill potholes. We did it last year, but most of the patch has been pulled out by the snow plows. So that's an ongoing problem. We have some pictures to show you how bad they are. Our property manager has them. We're going to give them to you with a copy of this as well as the petitions. The pictures do not really tell the story, and we invite you all to take a ride through our property, see for yourself how bad they are. Our property manager and I are willing to meet with any of you and provide you a tour.
It is gated.
Okay? Your engineer, Allison, who you've been discussing, she's already done a walkthrough with our property manager to see for herself. She also has a set of pictures, which we provided. She's been very helpful getting Lennar to address some of the issues, which include paving where sidewalks meet the roads and were too high for handicapped access, replacing ADA and courtesy ramps that were installed incorrectly and still need further work. And we really appreciate her help. But it's not enough. We need to get Lennar to do the paving next year. about the paving. 3 studies were done. We had a study done from an engineering firm that showed that the underlying roadway needs to be dug up in some areas and redone. Lennar did a study, and their analysis showed that the problems were a lot fewer than the ones our study showed. Rockaway did a study, and your study showed somewhere in between the 2 studies that were done previously. Lennar is supposed to use the Rockaway study to finish the roads, okay? Now, last year, Lennar tried to get around the studies by showing up. What they did was call us on a Wednesday or Thursday, tell us the paving equipment was arriving over the weekend, and they would begin paving on Monday. You can't do that with 8 buildings of people. So we got in touch with the engineer. They had never notified Rockaway that they were going to come and do that. With her help, we put a stop to the paving. They came, sat with us. We developed a plan to do the paving and help the residents get in and out of the property while they were doing it. But at that time, your engineer also notified them of the requirements, which she mentioned. There are other things that have to be fixed before the paving can go ahead. So they decided not to do the paving. They addressed some of the issues that were brought to their attention and then stopped. We have a few questions, but you might need some time to research, talk to your own staff, and before you provide any answers to us. That we understand that, and so we're not pressing tonight. However, if you can provide us with any answers, we'd appreciate it. First, we've been advised that the council and planning board did not impose a completion date on Lennar with the final agreement. Why? Is this standard practice? I'm going to go through the questions, and you can tell me at the end. Second, can Rockaway Township now impose a requirement that Lennar complete the paving by 2020? And third, we know you're holding a bond, but what we don't know is how much of the bond has already been released to Lennar as they completed stages of construction. We suspect you only hold a few $100,000. And can you provide us with that information? If you've released most of the bond, what leverage do you really have with Lennar at this point? There may be legal leverage, and we don't understand that. The bottom line is, can you actually help us get Lennar to finish the paving next year or not? If you can, we need to begin the effort now to get Lennar to agree to it so they have the funds earmarked for this project and a contractor lined up. We're available to meet with you or anyone from the township to discuss this further. And as I said, I'll leave a copy of everything with you, including my notes. I want to thank you for your attention. And would anyone care to answer any of our questions? Or if not, when can we expect some answers?
So right now, a lot of questions, a lot of information. So we're gonna, give us the information you have there with the questions, and we can give it to administration, and then they could get back to you on from there.
Okay, thank you.
But anything you have, just please, give it to me, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Can we get a copy of the engineering plans if we don't have them already? Sir? Can we get a copy of the engineering study if we don't have it already? The one that you had done?
I think you have it.
We definitely have the 3 paving reports that you referenced. One I wasn't sure about was the first one you referenced, the transition plan, or when you had your engineer do a transition
Right.
study?
We did a study,
Mhm.
you did a study,
Oh,
and
no,
Lennar did a study.
Yes, the paving assessment, we have those copies of those 3 reports. And then you had referenced one that your engineer did during the transition, the first transition in 2018.
Oh, that's a transition report,
Yeah,
which identifies,
okay. If you don't want to provide that, that's,
I
sounds-
don't know
I
if
would
our
like-
lawyers will
we
let
got
us
enough.
provide that to you.
we got enough work to do with them, so,
Yeah, it's a 2-inch, 3-inch binder full of all construction issues.
okay.
We have it.
But yes, the three paving reports that you referenced, we have.
I mean, we can check with our legal department, see if we can release that to you or a copy to you. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine, I just want to make, oh, no, that's fine, I just want to make sure, so we can be as helpful as possible, have a complete picture. Yeah, if it's in litigation, follow the advice of your attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on.
I have a question for Joe. Joe, if I may, do you happen to know the docket number of the litigation that you had filed? You don't have the docket number?
I didn't take that information with
The
me.
other question I have is, do you know, since you pay dues, so you have an association collection that you guys have every month, do you know, like, a roundabout estimate amount that you have paid out of pocket from your association to cover the repairs that were caused by either unfinished construction or?
We currently have approximately $100,000 worth of expenditures because of construction issues that have been identified that Lennar said they would fix it if transition showed that they had to fix it, but we couldn't wait. You can't wait while you got water pouring into the garage.
Sure.
For them to fix it. So we went ahead and spent about $100,000. It's $91,000.
So you try to be proactive to actually
We had-
repair,
yeah,
so
we
it
had
wouldn't create additional damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do. I'll give you the floor when I'm done, thank you.
You just started talking, you didn't ask, so.
Mrs.
just quickly.
Ferrante,
Let's go.
this particular Lennar, do they have anything that's pending in front of either the Board of Adjustment or the Planning Board amending their prior resolution that they had? Like, are they making changes? Are they trying to make some corrections or something they didn't know at the time when the resolution was passed?
Not at this time.
Do we know the resolution number on that? Could you provide the council with the resolution?
Sure.
And do you have the resolution as well?
No, we tried to get a copy, we haven't been able to.
Can we also get the information for Joe here to pass the resolution to him as well? This way you can see that too. No other questions? I yield.
Thank you.
The res-
Moving
Thank
on.
you.
Council President, can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Did those roads get turned over to the town?
No.
No.
Okay, so who's currently plowing those roads during the wintertime?
It's the association.
Yeah, it's like Fox Hills.
Well, it's Lennar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
It's like Fox Hills, I said.
Okay. Moving on.
It's like
Michael
the town's
Lardy.
gonna plow your driveway, right? So the town's not gonna plow your driveway.
Michael Lardy, 19 North Brookside Drive. Again, I bring up several times the signs at different corners. The senior center is a bad one. People post their signs there. You come up, you can't see them. I mean, I've spoke to the police about it. They agree with me. Why can't they just be removed on a regular basis? You're not going to stop people from putting them there until they see that they disappear quickly, and it's not worth investing in a sign that's not going to last. But there's 4 or 5 of them there now.
Councilman Brooks actually brought that up last meeting, said the same thing.
Right.
I agree.
Also, the advertising signs on every right-of-way. I know we don't maybe have jurisdiction on entrances to the Route 80 and stuff, but every mattress store is going out of business in about 7 days. Every furniture store is having a liquidation sale that they're not paying for advertising except for the $6 sign. That is on every right-of-way. That looks horrible. And then when they mow the lawns, they get knocked over and they become litter. The bushes that I brought up that I was told that the homeowner was notified about on Old Middletown and West Lake Shore. I don't know how much time they have in order to do something about it, but it's an ongoing problem. So if they don't, I don't know the amount of time they have, but hopefully when that time runs out, the township can go there with a bow saw and remove those couple of bushes. The geese problem. I know, I'm sure you all heard about Lake Apacon this summer and about 14 other lakes in New York, New Jersey area that had to shut because of blue-green algae, toxic algae. Luckily, White Meadow Lake hasn't had it, but the geese are a major contributor to that problem. One goose produces 1,200 pounds of goose poop a year, and 4 geese is the equivalent of having a leaking septic tank on a lakefront property. That's how bad these geese are. They serve no purpose. There's 1 million of them, and they are conveyor belts. All they do is eat and poop. if you watch them. They don't eat to survive, they eat to poop. And White Meadow Lake, we have an idling of the eggs program, which we get a permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We do our lake, we do Mount Hope Lake, we have permission from them. I'm asking tonight if you can consider giving us permission to do Parks Lake. We have staff that will do it. We can get a permit that includes that location.
Mr. Alardi, we're working on Parks Lake. I had a meeting with Rockaway Borough the other day.
Okay.
We're getting quotes right now to do the mitigation.
Okay,
It's
and
in the
removing the
process.
geese was the other
Yeah, we're in the we're in
Department
the
of
process of
Agriculture.
taking a
Okay,
look
because
at
we're
that.
working on that too. But if we all don't do it together, it doesn't help.
We're going to be doing it jointly with Rockaway Borough. I had a meeting with the
Okay.
mayor and some of the councilmen a week or two ago about that and a few other issues. And
Okay.
it's definitely being worked on.
Okay, because we spend the money, then those geese fly over to us. And then it defeat, we're limited to how much we can accomplish. The other thing, White Meadow Lake has a blood drive on Sunday, October 20th. If anybody's interested in donating blood.
What time?
I think it's 8:30 to 2:30 or 9 to 2:30, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it ends at 2:30.
Is it at the clubhouse?
Yes, at the clubhouse. And White Meadow Lake has its annual meeting for residents on this coming Sunday, the 13th. If anybody out there in YouTube land is listening, come and vote line by line on a budget, which is I don't know anywhere else where you can vote as a resident on every single line on a budget and vote it up or down. So, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Lardy, real quick, does the association, the POA, do they have anything in their bylaws regarding signs that's related into the POA area property?
Yeah, we don't allow people to post signs on POA property without permission.
Okay. I didn't know if any of them signs were something in those areas
Yeah, no, the ones that I'm talking about are on,
outside of that POA
yeah,
area?
outside of
Okay.
White Meadow Lake.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else in
Council
the audience?
Council President,
Mr. Jednak?
Mr. Lardy mentioned YouTube. Is our YouTube feed working this evening?
I think it should be on.
With regard to the sign issues that Mr. Lardy brought up, has anyone in the administration reviewed those issues with regard to our sign ordinances? And are the signs that he's raised complaints about, are they in compliance with the ordinances or are they not in compliance?
Mr. Puzio?
I can't give you an answer at this time. We're looking into it. I know it was an issue. Our business administrator had that on a to-do list, so I'll get back to you. Once again, if you have any questions from the council, it is helpful if you can email the administration. It doesn't have to be me. It could be Business Administrator Seeger, and so we can get answers so I don't run into this, so she doesn't run into this at a meeting. We could be a little bit more efficient.
Council President, this isn't the first time Mr. Lardy has raised the sign issue. As you noted, Councilmember Brooks also raised this issue.
I will follow up on that.
Council President, also with regard to the geese problem that Mr. Lardy raised, will the newly constituted Environmental Advisory Committee be reviewing the geese problem as an environmental issue?
We'll let them decide.
Is that not something that perhaps would be worthy of a so-named committee to review?
Once the environmental committee is formed and people are assigned, we'll let them take a look at it if they so choose. In the meantime, the administration is working with Rockaway Borough, as I said, to get quotes and to see what can be done as far as mitigation for the geese issue.
And what is the purpose of the quotes? Quotes for what service?
What's the purpose of the quotes? They would provide a service, so they would need to get paid.
What type of service, ma'am?
I'm not a geese expert. Once I get the quotes and I have our health officer look at it, we'll get you an answer.
So we don't know what we're asking for quotes for.
Councilman Jedniak, that's handled by different departments. I, as mayor, am not a goose expert, a geese expert. We're working on the problem. What's been done is it's been delegated out to the proper department, to our health officer, and they're going to take a look at it, and they're going to get quotes with our DPW, with Director Sheard, and we're going to see what can be done about the issue.
Thank you, let's move on.
I have one follow-up with that,
No, let's
Council
move
President.
on.
Thank you.
Nope,
Mr.
nope,
Mayor?
Nope, you're not recognized. Shut your mic off.
Hudsonia
Shut his
and
mic
the
off.
other lakes that maybe the township has.
Moving
there's
on to
games
consent
as well.
agenda.
Are they gonna be like a component of that, other than just Park Lake?
If you have a concern, email me with your
Well,
questions and concerns.
we just have other bodies of water other than Park Lake
Well,
that could
listen,
affect other areas.
All of our bodies of water
Because
are.
Hudsonia is owned by Rockaway,
Is there,
and that feeds into
Mr.
Lake
Kelly, is there
Tellamar
an
too.
issue up there with geese?
I'm sorry?
Is there a current issue with geese?
Well, there's geese that are there all the time, yeah.
Okay. All right, send us an email as far as the problem, and we'll take a look at it.
There's a problem with geese on Lake Hudsonia.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Moving on to consent agenda. We have R19-187, R19-188, R19-189, R19-190, R19-191, R19-192, R19-193, R19-194. That's it. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Council President.
Second? Do we have a second?
Council President.
1 second. Do we have a second?
Yes. I second.
Yes, Mr. Jedniak?
Council President, I have a number of resolutions that I have questions about that I'd like to remove from the consent agenda.
We're going to, when it comes to you, you can let me know. We're going to have a second, and we're going to call the roll. You let me
Well, you
know.
would
Council
do that,
President, this is-
before you.
Yeah, I'm not going to
you would pull
remove any.
Council President,
I'm
do you
not gonna-
understand what
I'm
the
not
word
gonna remove
consent
any.
means?
I'm not going to remove any.
Consent
the roll.
means that we have nothing to discuss.
Please
and
call
if
the
there are
roll.
items
Council
to
President, are
discuss-
you not recognizing Mr.
Please
Jeniak?
call the roll.
If you're not recognizing Mr. Jeniak,
Mr.
you're in
Kelly,
violation.
I'm in charge of the meeting.
Open
Sit
public-
there and be quiet.
Open Public
Thank
Meeting
you.
Act.
Please call the
If
roll.
you're not
Council
recognizing
President, I
Mr. Jeniak,
object.
you're in violation.
Council President, I object.
Please call the roll.
Council President, our ordinance says if there's an objection by the council to a ruling of the
We can
council
vote on
president,
it.
there's a
We'll
vote.
vote on your one that you want to do. We'll see what we got. Which one do you
I
got?
have an objection.
What do you got?
I have an objection to your ruling, Council
Well,
President.
too late. We're
My
calling the roll.
recommendation is that
We're
you
calling the
review,
roll.
my recommendation is that you review our ordinances,
Council
Council
President,
President.
you'd be in violation if you're not
Please call the
noticing
roll.
Councilman Jeniak. You're in violation of
Please call the
OPMA.
I've raised an objection to your ruling, Council President.
Mr. Achafano?
Sir.
Please chime in.
There's a motion and a second to move the consent agenda. There would have to be another motion to remove items from the consent agenda consistent with the practice we followed at prior meetings. If that motion is seconded, you can entertain the motion to remove items from the consent agenda. If that motion is seconded and voted on, if the majority controls, the items would be removed from the consent agenda. If not, the motion fails, you proceed with the original motion to vote the consent agenda.
Okay, so do we have a motion to remove certain items?
Council President.
Jedniak? Shh!
I'd like to follow up with
Council
Mr.
President.
Yachafano.
I'm talking to Mr. Jedniak, so
That procedure just described is not consistent with previous practices of this council.
do we have?
It's also
do you-
not consistent
do you
with
have
what a
any you'd
consent
like-
agenda is.
Do you have any you'd like to remove so we can vote on it?
Yes,
Yes or
Council
no?
President. I
Okay,
would like
please
to.
tell me.
I would like to remove resolutions 187, 188,
For discussion.
191, 193, and 194 for further discussion, Council President.
Do we have a motion?
There's no requirement for a motion, Council President.
Second.
Please call the roll on those five.
Councilmember Abrahamson,
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn,
No.
Councilmember Friedlander,
No.
Councilmember Noon,
No.
Councilmember Kelly,
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks,
I'm gonna abstain.
Councilmember Jednak,
Yes.
Vice President Jackson,
No.
President Sackett,
No. Five noes, 3 yeses, 1 abstention. Motion carries. Please call the, motion fails, excuse me. Please call the roll for the whole consent agenda.
Councilmember Abrahamson,
Abstain?
Councilmember Quinn,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedlander,
Yes.
Councilmember Noon,
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Abstain.
Councilmember Brooks.
Yes.
Councilmember Jednak.
No.
Vice President Jackson.
Yes.
President Sackett.
Yes, 6 yeses, 3 noes, motion carries. Moving on to number 10, council appointments.
Council President, you didn't correctly read the vote totals.
We had 6 yeses, 2 noes, 1 abstention, motion carries. 1 no. 6 yeses, 1 no, 2 abstentions, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to council appointments, firefighters. We have Sarah Cortez and Anthony D'Amico. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Abrahamson.
Yes.
Councilmember Quinn.
Yes.
Councilmember Friedlander.
Yes.
Councilmember Noon.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yes.
Councilmember Brooks.
Yes.
Councilmember Jednak.
Yes.
Vice President Jackson.
Yes.
President Sackett.
Yes. 9 yeses, 0 noes, motion carries. Moving on to number 11, council president appointments. Just 2 appointments tonight under council president appointments for council liaisons. We're going to be appointing on the Board of Ed Regional, Douglas Brooks to replace Mr. Friedlander. And on the Board of Ed Local, we have Councilman Quinn, but we never put an alternate in for Mayor Puzio. We're going to be appointing Joseph Jackson. Moving on to old business.
Council President, before this meeting, I had asked you for old materials related to this meeting. I don't see those in the packet materials that I was given.
The council president appointments are at number 11. There's nothing.
Number 11 on the agenda is blank. It just says council president appointments.
Correct. That's my appointment.
So there was no further information that you provided prior to.
These are council president appointments. You're familiar with that. Number 12, moving on to old business. Any old business?
I have old business.
Mr. Kelly?
Mr. Mayor, Mrs. Fronte, I had spoke about the dog park. You're checking in with the state to see what we need to do, if we need to do anything, if we can move on that area over at the old Rockaway Castle.
Sure. I told you we'd take a look at it. You were going to speak with Ms. Ferrante about that?
No, you were checking with the state. I had no involvement with you calling the state.
I thought that Ms. Seeger asked for.
Ms. Seeger wanted a 501c3, but you were still, I wouldn't assemble a 501c3 if we can't do anything, so I thought we were going to get confirmation. As you had indicated, you were contacting the state to see if it's something you can put on that property. Did you get a response back from the state?
That was not my recollection. I believe that we were discussing a concept plan, or what.
I'm sorry?
What you had in mind.
You just have to get a 501c3. You just got to get your.
I thought you were talking about the dog feces and everything else that would be allowed to be on that property.
No, that was never mentioned, anything that detailed.
Did you mention anything about contacting the state?
We did. We said that you were going to work with Ms. Ferrante. You had a plan. You were going to talk to some vendors about putting together a plan.
No, I have vendors in the 501c3, but you had followed that communication with you were going to see if in fact that the state would allow it to be there.
I think there must have been a misunderstanding, but here's what I'll ask you to do. Send Ms. Ferrante, send Pat Seeger an email as to what you're looking to do, as to what you want us, how you want us to approach it from your end, so we don't have any
I just need the approval to have a group that were willing to put together something without using taxpayers' money that would benefit the taxpayers.
Okay, I think if you have a proposal, something that you
Yeah.
want, you can email us?
Yeah, but I just want to make sure we're not looking for any, again, if we're having miscommunication,
Sure.
let's clear the air right now that you're not looking for any permission or any approval from the state to allow us to do something like that. I would hate to have everybody,
Yeah, how can we know until there's something that's presented that you're looking to do?
okay, so you
Because
want me,
it might-
what you want is you want a form of a,
No, I just want an email that says what you're looking, a general idea of what you're looking to do, so there's no misunderstandings, that our engineer and our business administrator will have a little bit of a template. Nothing super detailed as far as engineering, if there's anything that needs to be done, that has to be taken care of through the town, but what you're looking to achieve up there.
right. And are we a shared with the state, or is it the state that owns it, or does the township own it?
I couldn't tell you at this.
Okay.
Any other old business? Moving on to new
Council
business.
President.
You have old business or new business?
Old business.
Okay, what do we got?
Council President, the consent agenda that we just passed this evening contained a number of resolutions that result in expenditures by the council. There's no discussion on it. If you look through those resolutions and add up the dollar amounts, there is almost $400,000 in expenditures that are coming out of that consent agenda. Not a single question about what any one of those dollars is or why those expenditures are happening.
Any other old business?
Council President, what is the status of the Bowieville sewer assessment collections?
We're working on it. Any other old business?
And who specifically is working on it, Council President?
We have a committee. We're working on it. Any other old business?
When is the committee, has they met yet?
We're working on it.
Have
Any
they
other
met
old
yet?
business? We're working on it.
Is that a yes or a no, Council
We're
President?
working on it. Any other old business?
Do you have the meeting date of the next meeting?
We're working on it. Any other old business?
Yes, Council President. Council President, it is October now. We're coming up almost on a full year since the Thanksgiving 2018 ransomware incident that affected our police department and public safety in this township. What is the status of the investigation into that
It's the
ransomware
same-
I
incident?
believe Mayor Puzio addressed that to you last time.
It's the same status as it's been ongoing. I've answered that ad nauseum. My answer's not going to change, so I'm not going to answer it again and waste the public's time, waste the council's time, the professionals. The answer is the same exact answer that I've given you.
So, Council President, when will the public understand what took place and what steps have been taken to avoid a repeat of that, perhaps this coming Thanksgiving again?
You already heard your answer. Anything else?
So the answer is that the administration and Mayor Puzio continue to refuse to provide that information to the council, let alone the public.
False.
Then what is the answer? Exactly.
Anything
Council
else?
President, what is the status of the missing laptop and mobile phone of former Mayor Datchison?
You've heard all these questions already. You don't have to keep asking
Just
them.
unproductive,
That was last
Council
week, though.
President.
This
Those
is
devices have been
Council
missing for more than a
Very
year,
unproductive.
Council President. What's the
We already,
status?
they
of that?
already talked about this last time. There's no updates. Anything else?
That's it for old business.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Council President.
Any new business?
I have new business.
Okay.
I don't know why, because the last time, Council President, you were kind of, didn't care about Dover. But the town of Dover.
I lived in Dover for 6 years. Don't say I don't care about
You-
Dover.
you said it,
It's
I didn't.
incorrect. That's
So-
incorrect. That's incorrect.
Because of
You were
your,
bringing up people's names
you're
during
not
the thing,
concerned
so
about Dover.
that was incorrect.
Traveling through Dover, as I do on
I
a
travel
weekly
a
basis.
lot myself.
In Dover, they have the photographs of their military that reside in Dover
I
along their
I see 'em.
posts and stuff like
I
that.
see 'em.
Being down in Scotch Plains recently, they have something similar.
Yep.
I know that we don't have a town, that we have like a walking town in a sense that has that type of an atmosphere like the borough or like Wharton or like Dover. Is there something that we can do as a recognition to the veterans coming up? You know, we, for Memorial Day, there's a book that's get passed around before the parade. But in Veterans Day coming up in early November, if there's something that we can do on the website to name the residents that are veterans in this township that are important. We have a veteran in the back there, Mr. Matos, and I just think that our employees as well as our residents should be noticed for their services and their devotion to military. So is there something that maybe we can do,
I agree. It sounds like a great idea.
you know?
So,
I'm sorry?
maybe
Thank
something,
you for
maybe
all your
something
service
we
that
can
are
work
in
on.
there.
Very good. I agree. It's a good idea. Anything else?
I do have something else. Also, as recognition, downstairs in the lobby of the police department, our police department on the wall, by records, it's incomplete of those who had retired, who had passed away, that were police officers. And it's been something that's been years, almost a decade, of those who had retired. There's a little placket that goes on for each individual that is retired. Is there a way that maybe we can follow up with that, since it's been so long that it hasn't been followed up on, to, show the respect and the service of those individuals that have retired or that had passed away that were police officers. So, do you know what I'm talking about, Mr. Mayor?
Generally, the police department handles those types of things.
Well, we got to go through you in order to have that done, so.
We could take a look at it. I'll remind the chief to possibly update that, get a list together.
Great, and the one last thing, Council President, would be, since there's no requirement for notices of these new committees that were created, that we would post the meeting dates of all of these committees that were to take place and assemble, not just the environmental committee now, but all committees, so that since there's no notice, and those aren't aware of any meeting that's going to take place because they didn't know to ask, because there's only so many people here who reviews the video, I think it would be a great thing, it would be beneficial for those to put that on our website and maybe our Facebook to show all the meeting dates of all the committees.
You think we can maybe put that on the calendar?
Yeah, we'll speak with the committees once they're formed.
Very good.
The committees are going to decide to do that, or that's something you're going to decide to do?
Committees have to decide when they're going to meet, if they're going to have a
Right,
regular meeting
but
schedule.
you're looking for the meeting dates for them, or their consent to put the meeting dates on the website?
We have to look for meeting dates if they want to, when they're going to meet. We don't know, like the Environmental Commission
No,
meet
no, the
on a
question
regular
was,
basis.
you're only asking for the meeting dates, you're not asking for their consent to put the meeting dates on.
No, why would I
Okay,
need
that's all.
their consent?
Exactly.
Put up a meeting date.
Thank you. No other new business.
Thank you. Moving on to council reports. We'll start with Mr. Kelly, if you have any reports.
You know what, I just think that the Holy Trinity Church did a phenomenal job. I think Matt Matalazzo really knocked it out of the park. He's a very ambitious guy, part of the Lutheran Church community over there, and it was a great assembly. They had a great car show. It's a shame that the food truck guys didn't pop in, but those are the things that do happen, and I hope next year
They had a good ice cream truck.
he does it again, and maybe there can be some more volunteers to assist him for even a greater event. But it was a well-attended, well-assembled event, and thank you to Holy Trinity for assembling that over in Telemark, as well as Mr. Matalasso. Other than that, I have no other report.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes, Party City grand opening went very well. Batman was there, kids had fun. All the sport programs this fall are having a great season. The weather has been phenomenal, and Peterson Field never looked so good. And speaking of Peterson Field, the rec committee and the heads of the various committees and sport programs got together with the council, and we reviewed, and the mayor, of course, and administration, we reviewed two different scenarios of what Peterson would look like. Everybody agreed that the one scenario was the best, and we hope to move forward on that and get pricing and see where we can go very soon.
When was that meeting?
Thank you.
Mr. Quinn?
Everybody got that notice. That was last week.
Thank you. Mr. Friedlander, could you guys shut your microphones off? Mr. Quinn, Mr. Kelly?
I never turned it on.
Mr. Friedlander?
Thank you. Library's doing well, moving ahead with the quiet room. Board of Ed, regional, ready for a new year. Everything is status quo there. I do want to report, though, last year, I reached out to Dave Dyer and Brian Coward about an issue on Green Pond. I think everybody knows that there is a way station for when they have the bear hunts. They talked to DEP, the head of Wildlife, Game and Wildlife, and it was a little bit, it was a little bit too late to do anything, and they said reach out to us in August of this year, and we'll address it. Well, with Brian and Dave reaching out, we also spoke to the governor's office, Mayor Buzio, myself, sent a letter to DEP, and right now we were just notified that they will put, this is the first thing, we'll see how it works, but they are going to do fencing, 6 to 8 foot high, and block the whole area off from Green Pond.
The kids going on the school bus.
Well, I drove up Green Pond and I saw a deer hanging from the back of a truck, being weighed, and a bear. Yeah, the deer somewhere else.
You said deer, yeah.
Did I say deer?
Yeah, you said deer.
Well, let's put it this: deer, there's bear, there's foxes. You got it. It's there. But anyway, that's the first step, and we'll see how they address it with the lighting. There's always another step but at least they're finally listening to us and doing something. And that's it.
Thank you. Ms. Noon?
The only thing I have is that I attended the opening of Party City. It's a beautiful, beautiful store. It's huge. So, and that was wonderful. And that's it.
Ms. Abramson?
No.
Mr. Jedniak?
Council President, thank you for recognizing me. Question for you, Council President. Has the fire department inspection been scheduled yet for this year?
Yes, I believe so.
Is there a date for that?
You probably didn't get it, we got it.
Hold on,
I don't know the
He
date
wasn't,
offhand.
he wouldn't have received the
You
notice.
didn't receive it, no.
Yeah,
I don't,
October 19th, Saturday,
October 19th.
You should.
That was sent out a while ago.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
maybe.
2 weeks ago that was sent out.
Council President, can I expect to find that in my mailbox tomorrow?
There was actually an invitation that was sent out in the mail 2 weeks.
we just got a notice again, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you,
We got an
Coun-
invitation in the mail maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Mrs. Seeger reads our mail, so I'm surprised you didn't know.
Not that I'm
Maybe
aware
a
of.
month ago?
I'm sorry?
Got an invitation in the mail.
Yeah, we just got another.
I checked my mail prior to the last meeting and I didn't
All
spot
of the
anything.
invitations were delivered to my office and they were placed in everyone's mailboxes.
Okay. Has there been a subsequent invitation that's gone out?
Not that I've been provided.
I just got one from you a couple days ago. I think Friday.
That's
I asked you and Ms. Abrahamson to respond as to
Yeah.
whether or not you were.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Okay.
Let me see.
Council
See if I have a
President,
copy. I'll send you a copy.
thank you, I'd appreciate that. Council President, there are a number of alerts that have gone out over the past week with regard to the McVeigh site, and some of it might be confusing as to what's going on or what has been going on. Can the administration tell us briefly what that was about?
They're grinding, recycling. They're grinding, making mulch, using the tub grinder. That's why it's shut down.
And is it back open again?
Thank you.
No, it's going to be shut down for a few days, as it's to my understanding. They'll post a notice when it's open again.
Thank you, Council President. One last item. Happy Yom Kippur to everyone who will be celebrating later this week, and happy Columbus Day to everyone who will be celebrating that next week.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks?
Thank you. On Sunday, I attended the Roundup Sunday at the Faith Family Fellowship, and they had some really good Texas brisket that I was able to enjoy. And I just also wanted to let everyone know that the hockey season for our Rockaway Miners will be starting this Friday night and going till mid-February to the end of February. Thank you. That's it.
Mr. Jackson?
So one thing, I ran into Officer Haig at a Morris Hills football game recently. I think he's the first Class V officer we're hiring in the schools, and I know he's very excited about the opportunity, and if he does as well as he did when he was the SRO at Hills, I think we got a lot of good things to look forward to.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, just a few things, just piggybacking off what a few people had said about the September 28th, the Party City grand opening. It was a great event, well attended, and just wanted to wish Party City best of luck. The next day was something new the township had tried, was the bike safety event on September 29th. The police department and Walmart and Dick's. It was a great event. A lot of young families are out there, and everyone did a great job. Yesterday, I had attended the White Lake Fall Festival. It's a fun time. A lot of different activities for the kids and the POA and all involved. I believe the Women's Club helped do that. It was a great job. Tomorrow night starts Yom Kippur, and it's the holiest day of the year on the Jewish calendar. And I want to wish all who are celebrating easy fast. And lastly, I want to wish Councilman Friedlander happy birthday. It was his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, buddy.
Happy 50th.
Thank you.
Council
Mayor?
President?
Yes.
Council President, just a question about Council Vice President Jackson's comments. He mentioned a new hire that is recently taking place in the police department.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other new hires within the township in the past month that perhaps the council's not aware of?
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, tonight I swore in 2 Class 3 specials, 2 additional. As I had said in the past, our hopes is to put 1 in each school. We have worked out a shared service agreement with the Rockaway Township Board of Education, and we have, tonight, I was proud to swear in 2 more, so now we have a total of 3.
Anything else, Mayor?
Council President.
You already had your report?
No, my question was about any new hires, including outside of the police department.
Yeah, we're talking about reports.
Right, it's a question about the report given by Council Vice President Jackson.
Okay. You didn't give a report.
You did, you reported that there was a new hire in the police
We
department.
can- we
My
can-
question is, are there any other new hires in the past
Not
month
that I'm aware of.
outside of the police
Not
department?
that I'm aware of.
It's a question for the administration.
Moving on, Mayor Puzio.
We can supply a list of new hires when Ms. Seeger gets back. We can ratchet it.
That would be great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, Mayor Puzio?
No, that would be it. I'd just like to wish all of my Jewish friends a happy new year and enjoy the holiday.
Town Attorney?
No report except to wish everyone who practices it a good Yom Kippur.
Thank you. Lisa?
I can echo that, thank you.
Mr. Dyer?
Well, real quick, Mr. O'Lardy, I just wanted to say, when it comes to the street signs and everyone else, I'll make you a deal. You send me an email. I know we've exchanged emails back and forth. We'll get them taken care of in 24 hours. Deal? Any sign you want down, we'll take it down.
All right. Deal. That sounds good.
No report.
Council President, hopefully that refers to signs that are not compliant with our ordinance.
Good.
No report.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Joe, how you feeling?